Just who is this bald-headed temptress, and what will her role be in the new Deadpool and Wolverine movie? Her origin story and villainous feats are absolutely insane. Get ready for a wild ride. Cassandra Nova was not naturally conceived. She is something known as a mumadrai, which is defined as a spirit that is the equal or opposite of a person. Mumadra are non-physical entities of the astral plane that each individual fights before they are born. They are the anti-self. Think of them as a kind of malicious psychic parasite with the ability to manipulate genetic and cellular matter. Many Mumadrai have access to many mental powers, as well as having access to their womb twins' fullest potential. Cassandra Nova is a Mumadrai to Charles Xavier. She developed alongside him in the womb and copied his DNA, effectively becoming his twin sister. She grew in the womb with Charles until she had fully formed hands and eyes, and at this point, she attempted to strangle Charles. Charles defended himself by launching a psychic blast. Boy, now that's a battle I would like to see. Two fetuses duking it out in the womb? It doesn't get much more legendary than that. It takes me back to the days when Goku and Vegeta were trapped inside Majin Buu's body, fighting alongside his internal organs. Perhaps the new Deadpool and Wolverine movie will give us a scene of these two finicky fighting fetuses fighting furiously. We could name the fight The Walloping in the Womb, or perhaps The Battle of Water Birth. Following Mr. Xavier's psychic blast, their mother had a miscarriage, and Cassandra's body was stillborn. However, likely due to Charles Xavier's vast genetic potential, Cassandra Nova still managed to survive as a mass of cells. She attached herself to a sewer wall, and over a time span of some decades, built a physical form and learned how to expertly mimic human traits. Wow, what a wild origin story. And as we move along to explore more of her story in the comic universe, things only get even more interesting. And a quick reminder, if you like these types of videos, I highly encourage you to like the video and subscribe. Thank you! Imagine the anger Cassandra must have felt from the cruel circumstances of her entry into the physical world. Imagine the overwhelming desire for vengeance toward her brother Charles, and by extension, toward mutants overall. Mumadra are already inherently evil, and she was in possession of all of the natural powers of the Mumadrai on top of the perfected potential of Charles Xavier. That should sort of give you an idea of where this story is headed. We'll take a look at three of her most prominent comic storylines to give you a detailed picture of Cassandra Nova in the comic universe. When she emerged from the sewer, and oh man, I would have liked to see her bald head covered in sewage, she got to work quickly. She convinced Donald Trask III, relative of deceased supervillain Bolivar Trask, to accompany her to see a secret wild master mold, which is a type of sentinel. Sentinels, to give you the basics, they come in many different forms. They are highly technologically advanced mutant hunting robots. They are armed with powerful energy weapons as well as other weapons. They can fly. They can detect mutants within a wide range. And they have incredible physical strength and highly damage-resistant bodies. They are programmed to only obey the commands of a Trask. Once Donald Trask III activated the Sentinel, Cassandra killed him by merging herself into his body. After merging with Donald Trask, she could now command the Sentinels herself. She sent the Sentinels to the mutant homeland Genosha, and the attack that resulted caused the deaths of 16 million mutants. She was eventually captured by Wolverine and Cyclops, but not before Cassandra Nova had successfully orchestrated a mutant genocide. After being captured, she was taken to the X-Mansion. No, not that one. Not that one either. There you go. Once there, she broke free and defeated most of the X-Men with ease. She then used the Cerebra, an AI mutant detecting system, to switch minds with her brother Charles before Emma Frost snapped her neck. Now how's that for a Freaky Friday? With Charles now trapped in Cassandra's former body, Cassandra, who is now in Charles' body, shoots him. So now Cassandra, who that sneaky devil, was in Xavier's body, unbeknownst to any of the mutants. In fact, I believe it took them a considerably long time to even begin to suspect her presence. When Beast approached the truth and figured out that Xavier and Cassandra shared the same DNA, Cassandra mentally forced an Xavier Institute student by the name of Beak to savagely beat him. Now listen, I don't know about all of you, but I'm a pretty fair guy. I'm a guy that really likes to try to see the bright side of people, that tries to give everybody a fair shake. But I must say, this Cassandra seems like a bad lady. Then she contacts the Shi'ar, an alien race, and she got into contact with the Shi'ar leader, Lilandra, who, guess what, happened to be Xavier's lover. Uh-oh, here come the waterworks. Cassandra manipulated her and drove her insane. She also convinced Lilandra to send the Imperial Guard to wipe out the Earth's mutants, starting with the X-Men. The Imperial Guard fought the X-Men until they learned the truth about Cassandra. Then they attempted to fight Cassandra, but she swiftly defeated them. She enters the X-Mansion to use the Cerebra to destroy all of the mutants, but Jean Grey, also known as the Storm Lady, had split Mr. Xavier's consciousness into pieces, and a little piece of his consciousness was put inside the mind of each and every single living mutant. Isn't that beautiful? When Cassandra attempts to focus the Cerebra on all of the mutants, the pieces of Charles Xavier's mind reunited, and simultaneously, in a perfect storm of bad news for Cassandra Nova, Jean Grey launched a telepathic attack which defeated Cassandra and forced her out of Mr. Xavier's body. With Cassandra now existing as pure psychic energy, Emma Frost tricks her into entering a shape-shifting, artificial organic entity named, you guessed it, Stuff. Stuff had shape-shifted to look like an exact match of Cassandra's old body. Her mind was blanked, and Charles Xavier and Jean Grey put her through a mental process of re-education by psychic simulations. This would not be the end of Cassandra Nova's crusade of terror, however. You see, when Emma Frost tricked Cassandra into entering Stuff, Cassandra had injected a trace of her own consciousness into Emma's brain. Emma felt survivor's guilt due to not perishing herself in the Genosha genocide, and Cassandra preyed upon that guilt, as well as her other feelings of guilt. Cassandra's psychological manipulation caused Emma to convince herself that her secondary mutation, which was the development of a diamond body, and was the only reason that she was even able to survive the genocide, Cassandra had convinced her to believe that that mutation was only due to Cassandra catalyzing the mutation. So she, in effect, believed Cassandra had helped her achieve this mutation and was the reason she survived the genocide. Through all of this manipulation, Cassandra was able to convince Emma to infiltrate the X-Men as a sleeper agent. Cassandra's influence resulted in Emma creating several manifestations that attacked the X-Men. These attacks had devastating effects on the X-Men. Beast became a feral animal. Wolverine regressed to the identity of the timid child he once was. A mutant named Kitty Pryde lost control of her phasing ability, and old Mr. Sunglasses himself, Cyclops, became catatonic. All of this achieved through a trace of Cassandra Nova's consciousness, masterfully manipulating a powerful mutant in her own right, Emma Stone. Simply amazing. The Cassandra influenced Emma, then tricked Kitty into using her phasing powers to free Cassandra. Cassandra tried to possess Kitty, but was unsuccessful. Before the X-Men could attempt to stop Cassandra, they were teleported away, and Cassandra disappeared for a while, marking an end to this particular storyline. Wow, what masterful manipulation, breaking down the minds of even some of the most powerful mutants, and genocide? Cassandra Nova is truly a supervillain for the ages. I hope you have found my presentation of her comic story to be insightful. We will now examine her upcoming appearance in the new Deadpool and Wolverine movie. In the trailer, we see that they obviously went with a younger version rather than the older version, which invites the bald-headed temptress label I have assigned to her, which will surely be picked up in the commentary and media spaces. Perhaps Marvel chose to go with her younger version to attract the male audience. Perhaps they may also be angling at the female empowerment route through baldness. A young lady who shaves her head bald is not only bald, but also bold. Yes, I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of hubba hubba from the boys in the audience, and a lot of the ladies are going to be shaving their heads in solidarity with this strong female character. We can only hope that Will Smith and Chris Rock are not allowed within 500 feet of one of these audiences. Another little cool and very interesting little thing that I figured out is if you shorten the name Cassandra Nova, you can make it say Casanova. That's pretty cool. Especially considering how many men are going to fall head over heels in love with this bald-headed supervillain.
Boys are so silly.
Some other things we can expect. I believe we can expect Mr. Ryan Reynolds to make a lot of bald lady jokes. I expect the whole Mumadre concept to be heavily dumbed down to practically just the evil twin sister part. Perhaps Cassandra will use her vast manipulative abilities to disable Wolverine's use of his claws. That's something I would like to see. It will certainly be interesting to see how Deadpool and Wolverine's combined abilities are able to compete with the vast powers of this supervillain, Cassandra Nova. This has been Inside the TV, the premier source for all things media. Thanks for watching.